undergraduate program. Among of them already graduate from a master degree. Hopefully, they can work on the frontier of the terrorism, peace development.
Oh, he's frozen, I think. Let's see.
I think Mr. Ismail trouble in his connection.
I think so, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, there you are.
yeah. My connection is good enough right here. But the objective is not only to introduce the master and then a doctoral program to a friend of us, student, the young scholars, but also to explore the potential collaboration. Without further ado, I'd like to invite our moderator, Satria Edian. Satria Edian, please welcome.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ismail Iswardiwaci for the opportunity. All right, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Mr. Kauner, and afternoon in us right now, right? So welcome to International Seminar Higher Education Session 3, organized by SAM, LTNE, PB, HNE, U9 Yapes Wamena, IR Rawa Opak Konawe Selatan, and with kind support by Bina Nusantara University, Universitas Muhammadiyah Baru, Stebi Al Musin Yogyakarta, Stay Darussalam Kunir, Stit Sunan Giri Bima, Stit Al Cerah Mamuju, Stay DDI Maros, Stay DDI Pangkep, IADDI Rapang, IISU RS, Dewan Pendidikan Kabupaten Maros. All right, before going to start our event, let's begin our event by reciting Al Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. All right, my name is Satria Dian Putra Pratama. It's such an honor for me to be your moderator in International Seminar Higher Education for this session, right? For this session, we have two spectacular narasumber, Mr. Christian Kovner and Dr. Anand Misra. Welcome, all the spectacular speaker. So for the first presentation will be delivered by Professor Christian Kovner. Time is your Mr. Thank you.
Hi. Do you want me to speak, Ismail, or did you want to have a round table where we just discuss different topics?
Yeah, maybe we can you can start and later a friend of us could raise any questions or somehow actually why we choose early January to give us opportunity to run our discussion later from January to December 2026. So somehow maybe you can start with some idea and a friend of us can come up with Q&A and later Dr. Anand Misra could extend or continue or but you can start first.
Okay. No, thank you. Thank you so much to have me here with you. Absolutely delighted to be back with you. It's a great pleasure to be with all of your audience and with all of the important people in Indonesia. We're always very excited to be working and collaborating with you. So thank you so much for having me. So just to give a little background for those people who perhaps don't know me quite so well. So my name is Christian Kaunert. I'm Professor of International Security at Dublin City University, and I'm also Professor of Policing and Security at the University of South Wales in the UK. So I can talk a little bit about Ireland and I can talk a little bit about the UK, but I'm very happy to take questions also about other European countries if you're interested. So there's no problem there. So I think the idea here is to look a little bit how we can collaborate in terms of higher education, and I think there's a number of issues that were already previously mentioned. So I think in general terms, obviously, there is a wide spectrum of different cooperation possibilities. There's possibilities, perhaps, if we look at the university structure in terms of the teaching and higher education, we can have collaborations both at the undergraduate level, as part of a BA, more easily perhaps at the graduate level also in terms of developing collaborations in terms of masters teaching or possibly even PhD and PhD research. So I think on the teaching side, there's a variety of different topics that we can look at. But in addition to all that we can do in terms of the teaching side, and I'll come back to the teaching side in a few minutes, there's obviously also a whole range of things that we can do to collaborate at the research level. My own research is very heavily focused on international security, specifically also on counterterrorism, policing, things that as they relate to Europe and the European Union, but also South Asia. And my colleague Anand will be able to tell you a little bit more about that as well. But just as a kind of range of possibilities, if we look at some of the things that we can most easily collaborate, let's say, as good starting points, one could look at the graduate level, higher education graduate level, being kind of master's programs, but possibly also ideas into, if you see more digestible tranches of master's programs, perhaps graduate diplomas or things like that. And then PhD programs. I think here there's definite possibilities in terms of what we're offering as a model, if you like, at Dublin City University. We have one master's program that is, in fact, not only a dual master's program, but is a triple, quadruple master's program because it is basically funded by the European Union, and it's called the International Masters for Strategy, Security, and Intelligence Studies, the IMSIS program that is involving a number of different countries, the United Kingdom with the University of Glasgow, Dublin City University and Ireland, Trento University and Italy, and Prague, Charles University Prague in the Czech Republic. In addition to that, we just have been awarded new funding by the European Commission for that to the tune around 4.5 million euros for the next several years to fund a new generation of master students. So we will have an additional partner involved in the consortium, that is the University of Belgrade. So the idea here of how the master's program works is that the students basically do a 2-year master's program. They start in one of the universities here at the University of Glasgow. They tend to do their first semester at the University of Glasgow. Then they go to the second university, which is Dublin City University. Or alternatively, they can also go to the University of Trento in Italy and do their second semester there. Then they go for the third semester to the Czech Republic in Prague, and or possibly to Belgrade. They might go to Belgrade instead. And then they do their final semester looking at their dissertation, doing the research, and basically choosing any of the locations of the master's program. And ultimately, then all of those achievements of the students, they're then recognized. And after their dissertation, they are awarded at least 3 different degrees. Let's say it could be a UK degree, an Irish degree, and a Czech degree, or any other combination of the different universities that we have in the consortium. So this is one of the programs. At the University of South Wales, we have a similar program where we have a master's in international security and risk management, one with a specific specialization also on counterterrorism. That particular master's could potentially lend itself as a collaborative partner also for Indonesian universities, where we could think of similar kind of models where we do something together as either kind of dual degrees or collaborative master's programs where we bring the universities together and perhaps have different outcomes from the relevant university stakeholders, a little bit along the model what I was just suggesting in terms of the IMSIS program. The European Union has a number of programs that fund some of those. They're obviously competitive programs that you have to apply for, but the European Union does every year have competitions to be able to apply for putting those consortiums together of different universities where they can come together and develop these programs together and then be awarded to develop those kind of programs together. Now, at the doctoral level, there are similar programs that exist at the level of the European Union. At the doctoral level, they tend to be research driven, so they are particularly driven on a particular research area and a particular research project. And then you put together a consortium of different universities again. So at the moment, I'm leading a doctoral training network, EU-GLOCTER, that involves a number of different universities. So we have Dublin City University in Ireland, we have Leiden University in the Netherlands, we have Universidad de Rey Juan Carlos in Madrid, Metropolitan University Prague, Jagiellonian University in Poland, and a number of other universities that are all part of the consortium altogether. We have 25 universities that are part, either full partners or associate partners, and form part of that consortium of doctoral training that is essentially on a specific topic. Here it's counterterrorism, European-wide, globally, locally is kind of the general idea of those projects. We've then recruited 11 PhD students that are essentially working on different aspects of this particular doctoral training network and projects. Again, the European Union funds some of those training networks, again, very competitive applications, but they fund putting together a consortium like that and possibly then bringing universities together and then being awarded those kind of 11 or 10 or 12 sometimes doctoral training students that are then able for 4 years to concentrate on their PhD, be awarded with a PhD, get all the kind of research done and have all the collaboration. So what we have in our doctoral training network is, for instance, that students, they have one home university where they are basically registered as a doctoral student, but they're then asked to go to different institutions, either in another country or in two separate countries, or on occasions, or maybe in the same country, but in a different type of institution. So possibly, let's say, a think tank, or possibly another type of research center, research institute, so that they get a lot of experience and they get a lot of exposure in terms of learning about their doctoral research. And that they also then get all the skills that are essentially driving their opportunity later on the labor market to become one of the star academics that we have in a particular research area. So that's kind of just a general outline. So this is like a starting point, a kind of a pot of different ideas, and I look forward to be discussing them with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Professor Kristen Kellner, for the presentation. Maybe we can open the Q&A session.
Or we need to Dr. Anand Misra to extend the presentation, and later we can have the panel of Q&A.
All right. Okay, the second presentation will be delivered by Dr. Anand Misra. Time is your Dr. Anand. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. And as Dr. Conant has rightly pointed out, uh, uh, we are looking at in the element of a trilateral academic and capacity building engagement on the specifics of behavioral forensics, counterterrorism, and radicalization. Now, the idea is that this not only limit to Southeast Asia. National Forensic Sciences University is a leading component of this engagement in India. University of South Wales is a leading component coming in from here in the UK, and then we are very keen to identify partners coming in from Indonesia. Now, if you look in the context of, if I summarize, or in a very short present you, The background and the rationale of this engagement is we are already in engagement with National Forensic Sciences University in India. We are partnering them here at the University of South Wales, and now we want to expand the doors. As Dr. Kunert rightly said, he's the champion of the academic component of counterterrorism with bachelor's, master's, and PhD that he is put out outrightly in the meeting. But to expand a bit, we are looking at engagement coming in from behavioral, psychological, and social indicators that we are aimed to analyze, which means behavioral forensics. And we are keen to create programs that are not intelligence-led counterterrorism, but that offers early intervention. And we are very keen to bring Indonesia because Indonesia offers deep operational experience in counterterrorism, de-radicalization, and community-based prevention. Now, if you look at India and the UK, it provides a complementary strengths in forensic science, policing, intelligence, and prevention framework. So this trilateral engagement enables a comparative, a practice-oriented learning across Southeast Asia and Europe. Establish and with this we aim to establish a joint academic practitioner platform because when we talk about Indonesia, India, and the UK, we are essentially not only limiting our engagement to these three sections, we are also looking at European Union per se. So the idea is that we bring partners from Indonesia. And what partners in Indonesia we are particularly looking in? We're looking in to establish a joint academic practitioner platform for behavioral forensics and counterterrorism, out of which the engagement we are very keen to go on a comparative analysis of radicalization pathways and behavioral risk indicators. Now, if you look at the scope of our engagement in terms of the academic model, we aim to have law enforcement, intelligence, forensic, and policy professionals, and the idea is not only we expand in the context of academic modules, but we are also keen on expanding in the context of policy relevant research outputs, which, as Dr. Konert again has outrightly mentioned, the engagement of European Commission grants, and there are research studies, there are research engagements that can be done and can be hosted in Europe. So that is something that we are absolutely keen to do so. Now, what are the core thematic frameworks that we intend to offer? We are looking at partners in Indonesia in the context of behavioral forensics and counterterrorism, radicalization and extremist behavior, operational counterterrorism and intelligence, and I would say a training component. That means we are very happy to have the National Counterterrorism Agency in the Indonesia. We are very keen to have a conversation with them, especially when we are producing courses or we want to produce courses in the context of risk prioritization, suspect assessment, and disruption strategies. But we are not only going in the context of creating a course or courses in the context of being operationally active. We are also keen in looking at prevention, reintegration, and de radicalization as well. So we are very keen to partner with universities in Indonesia, particularly universities that host these kinds of I would say research or disengagement model studies or post custody monitoring and rehabilitation framework, such as LIA, because Dr. Kunert and I had the opportunity through Professor Veke to have an introduced with LIA. LIA is something that we are very much interested in. So, in that context, Professor Veke, we are very interested in expanding in Indonesia. That goes without saying. We have an existing model that works in the context of counterterrorism, radicalization, and in those initiatives. So we are very keen to kind of expand in the context of bringing in academic partners in Indonesia. And I leave it up to your consciousness and your expertise, and under the direction of Dr. Konat, to guide us with his wisdom, with his expertise in that positive direction, so that we have a more broader engagement coming in from Indonesia. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Anand Misra, for the presentation. And just now we have heard all many information that have shared by Professor Christian Kauner and also Dr. Anand Misra about the higher education. So for this session, we like to open the question and answer session. Who does want to asking about the material? Please raise your hand.
Yeah, Priya. Before we are going further, we would like to have some tips maybe from Prof. Kauner and Dr. Misra about the possibilities to have if we apply to master and PhD program. I would like to think that it is a competitive because somehow it will open for all the candidates around the world. But somehow, if we could have like a short course, even though that we make it online, it might be we could see the possibilities for those who want to apply to master and PhD. They already make a preparation. So somehow in the near future, maybe uh, after March, maybe we can have like a short course that somehow we name it before International Symposium, International Young Scholar Symposium, that we invite people, for those who want to learn this topic that already Dr. Misra give us the brief explanation about that. So somehow, for those who want to apply for master and PhD, they already have the experience through the short course or the Young Scholar Symposium, and then they already learn step by step what is the contemporary issue of the peace and development and securities, and then somehow the latest development or the latest research that could offer to the student, because somehow if they come with the issue with the past century, it might be will not interested to the faculty member of the Glasgow Dublin City University, University South Wales faculty member to offer them a place. So that's my question, moderator.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ismail. Maybe Professor Conan or Dr. Anand, you will like to answer the question from Mr. Ismail about the tips to continue master or doctoral degree. Please, thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. No, absolutely. The suggestion is a very nice one. So we can start with a suggestion that Dr. Ismail mentioned. We could have a symposium like that where we also maybe in detail um, present the master's programs that they could be interested in studying, where we give them a little taster of what the master's program is like, so that they understand a little bit what they would be taking on in terms of the program. Perhaps also in terms of doctoral research, if that's something that they might be interested, we can certainly talk about different topics that they might be willing to do. And then from there, we can develop bigger projects also, to develop bigger projects in terms of developing things together, developing, like Anand mentioned, developing master's programs maybe together, or other types of programs, developing them together. But indeed, we can start with something smaller, to introduce some of the students to those programs, and then we can take it from there, give them tips how to apply, give them tips how to go about getting onto the program, and I'm very happy to facilitate that. That's not a problem at all.
All right, thank you. How about Mr. Anand? You have the suggestion about the question from Mr. Ismail?
Yeah, thank you so much for this. As Dr. Conant said, I 100% agree with his analysis. He's been leading these initiatives for decades. The only thing I wanted to add to what Dr. Conant said, I would rather say extend the statement of what Dr. Conant said was, um, uh, uh, we are very interested in expanding in Indonesia. We are very interested in having engagements with universities, and we are very interested in engagement with law enforcement institutions, in particularly the National Counterterrorism Agency, as I've said it again in my remarks. But Professor Weke will be very interested if we have an engagement with at least the leadership of a couple of universities that you think are could potentially be leading the joint program, because joint program, as Dr. Conant and I had a very difficult time with engaging other universities, convincing them, ensuring that the credit system works. The idea is that if Professor Eke is comfortable, we can have an engagement with the Leah University director or the vice chancellor or the leadership of other universities, that we can have an engagement. We can have a closed door engagement with all the key stakeholders, National Counterterrorism Agency, where we can understand what are the academic needs or the knowledge sharing engagement that we can do with them. So this is something that Dr. Kunit and I are very interested to start to have a conversation with them first before we talk about bachelor's or master students. We aim to strengthen our relationship, institutional relationship with Indonesian universities. So we are happy to have engagements with them. We are happy to have conversations with the key law enforcement institution leadership, such as the NCA, so that we understand from a practitioner perspective of what are the knowledge sharing engagements we can bring along with these institutions together in Indonesia. Because, as I said, as we both have pointed out in our statements, it's just not going to be limited to Indonesia. It's essentially going to be Southeast Asia, Central Asia, and half of Europe. I would say majority part of Europe. But yeah, so the argument is that we are very keen to establish, we are very keen to engage this relationship, but we also emphasize on moving something more structured, conversations. If that is something, if in this way we are happy to proceed, if something like this can be offered. Thank you.
Right, thank you
Yeah,
so
thank you,
much.
Prof.
All right, anyone want asking about our material today to Professor Kristen Kauner and Anand Mishra?
I think we have said we've made significant progress in terms of making our points. So I'm happy. We are happy to. Dr. Conrad, anything have I missed? Anything we have missed, Prof?
No, I think all those statements are very valid. I think that's very good. So if anybody else wants to ask us more questions, we're very happy. But I think with Professor Ismail, we can also continue the conversation after this event, and we can continue to
Sure, sure, sure,
develop a
sure.
program
Yeah.
together.
Regarding the uh, recommendation from Dr. Misra that we could have the close contact with the management of university. I'm on the process to finalize the ASEAN Symposium on Higher Education. At least around 50 universities will join us, and then I will let you know. And then in between, which the time you are available, so you can present, or at least we can introduce you to the management of the 50 universities from Indonesia, and then 20 universities from um, Southeast Asia. And then it might be around 70 universities will join us online with that symposium. So the second one, it might be a very good one, because since I learned from the website of the doctoral program that Prof. Kauner is running, is about one of the university from Indonesia, Universitas Gadjah Mada, through the CRSS. They are one of the recruitment, a non-partner recruitment of the doctoral program. And then I learned again from Prof. Kauner that there are 24 universities in Europe and then already joined this one. And then somehow there is eligibility and there is a possibility to do the chair of European studies in outside European Union. So I'm learning that one. It might be a good opportunity for this time to learn again from Prof. Kauner what is the possibilities or what is the steps to reach the status as the chair of European Union because somehow at Dublin City University, Prof. Kauner already established the same center, but it is inside the European Union. But somehow I learned from the website of European Union that they could open the same center outside of the European Union. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Professor Ismail. I think that's definitely one of the things that we can discuss in much more depth. I think you're absolutely right. There is possibilities, like you mentioned, like the Jomone program, that could be possibilities also for Indonesia. I know that in the past it hasn't been so massively developed yet, but I think it's definitely with a lot of potential of how it can be developed. I think there's really a possibility with all of the universities that you've just mentioned. I think there's a real opportunity to develop some of those programs in much more detail in different Indonesian universities. And I think we can sit together and maybe really develop a little program. And my colleague Anand and I will put maybe a couple of thoughts together also in writing, and then we can come together and kind of think through strategically how we can how we can bring this forward. I think there's a lot of potential there. And Indonesia is a very important country, a country that we want to very much work with and collaborate with. And I think that's definitely something that we can then really develop a more detailed plan as to how we can develop that. And you're absolutely right. The possibilities there, the eligibility is potentially there also. And so it's just we can discuss this in much more detail. So I think that's definitely something we can approach. You want to add anything, Anand?
I think, Professor, you've said it all. I think you've said it all, and we are happy. We are happy to engage, but we are more happy. We will be more happy if there's a structured way of engagement that we offer. We lead in this initiative. So, Professor Veke, if the ASEAN higher education is something that is coming up, we would like to participate. And we were also thinking of making a physical visit to Indonesia at a point of time, anywhere in the beginning of 2026. So that's something we have still on the calendar, but we are very happy to have a chat have an engagement, have a discussion when we are there in Indonesia. That's also in the cards. But as Dr. Kunal said, there's nothing more that I can add. He's said it beautifully. He's put it. We are very much interested. We are happy. This engagement has to be very effective, and Indonesia is the leading partner in Southeast Asia. So that's why we are interested. But we are, and as he said, let's have more conversations. Let's have more engagements and take it ahead. Then, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Kaunan and Tamisha. Actually, somehow as you mentioned, that we have agency here that focusing on the counter-terrorism, and they could send their staff for the master and PhD. Uh, Somehow, because the scholarship is limited number under European Union, but somehow in Indonesia context, we have the agency, another agency that could support of the student to enhance their master and PhD student. So I more than agree that somehow you can come for physical visit here, and then we could arrange as early as possible. And the second one, actually, after 80 years of independence of Indonesia, most of the time they go through the Asia Pacific line. But we have another opportunity to work together under the India Ocean Partnership, Indonesia, India, and then the coastal line of this area. That's why we could offer a lot of things with the possibilities between Indonesia, India, and European Union, because somehow in the other part, we already just work on the sideline of Asia Pacific, Jap Southeast Asia, Japan, and USA. And then somehow we have a lot of notice, a lot of homework with the USA situation right now. So it is the timely, or it is the best time for us right now to see how we can work together under the framework of India and European Union, because somehow we could see how the Asia and Europe, there is one foundation that work together, but it is the HQ in Singapore. And then as we already learned that actually Indonesia as the capital of Southeast Asia or ASEAN. So we have a lot of things to do. And then I already come to the note that what the possibilities that we could go further. At least we can have the short course for the young scholars, or for a master class, for example, or that we can work together what the possibilities that we can have the class for them to learn how the possibilities in terms of the master and PhD. The second one, the opening doors or the cooperative between us through the people or the management of the universities, not only in Indonesia but in the Southeast Asia. It is a very good one, because since ASEAN right now one of the region that they have a very good condition, peaceful like the European Union, and then somehow there is a cooperation between universities and then educational institutions. So this is a very good opportunity for us to work together, since there is that's why a friend of us from the uh, student organization run this seminar in the early time of the year to identify what is the possibilities to work in the 2026. And thank you. I'd like to hand over to the moderator.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ismail. Maybe any the participant would like to asking Mr. Kirsten Kauner or Mr. Anand Misra.
Yeah, I want to read another comment or question from the YouTube to Prof. Kauner. Prof, because the master and then PhD is very competitive. So, what is the main requirement for those who want to apply, then to make sure that their application would go further and they will be picked up as the one of the candidates?
Great, great, great. So if I look at a program like IMSIS, we have a set number of scholarships that we have from the European Commission, but we have to award them per geographical region. So what that means is that there's different numbers of different scholarships that go to different geographical regions. So in a sense, Indonesian applicants, they basically compete with other applicants from the same region. And they're only competing not for all of the scholarships, but they're competing for the scholarships from that region. So in that sense, it sometimes makes it very, very difficult, because obviously Indonesia is a big country with lots of good students and so on, so they're invariably in a very tough competition for the scholarship. But in addition to the scholarship, students can also apply and bring their own scholarship. So, like you mentioned before, um, if there is an agreement perhaps with an Indonesian agency that will also fund a couple of extra students that can get a scholarship also from Indonesia, then that is also a way to increase the pool of Indonesian students in the program because then they are not limited by the numbers of scholarships that there are per geographical region, but they also have possibly their own scholarships that they can bring. And in that case, I think the chances are much higher. Usually we have around 100 places on the master's program, but we tend to get between 2,000 and 3,000 applicants. So there's quite a large number of students that tend to apply. And this is from anywhere in the world. So there's quite a large number of applicants. So in a sense, we look at all of their grades, their experiences, their professional experience, and all of those kind of things. And they also write a cover letter to kind of explain why they're really interested in the program. But as I mentioned, in terms of the scholarships, we are a little bit restricted by the European Commission how we need to allocate them according to the geographical region that they tell us to use, and they give us numbers per geographical region. So this is something that you just need to be aware of. But in terms of our master's program, also at the University of South Wales, let's say if we can establish a collaboration where there's also an Indonesian agency that helps to send some students, then I think that can really help to increase the numbers of Indonesian students onto the programs, and there will be a larger cohort of Indonesian students. And I think that will definitely be something that we would very much welcome because we also want to have those students onto our program. And obviously, the general criteria always apply in terms of English language criteria, in terms of having a good degree at the undergraduate level, having some professional experience, etc., etc. But I think within all of that, I think there's a lot of possibilities for a lot of good students. And I know there's many, many good students from Indonesia because there's a huge country with lots of good students. So we would be delighted to have more of them.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Another question from the YouTube, because since our conversation, our discussion is streaming from YouTube, uh, is what is the requirement or the minimum requirement of English ability? Is it through the platform IELTS or TOEFL, or there is another name or brand of the English ability?
Yes, it's usually one of those two tests. It's usually the IELTS or the TOEFL test. Um, we tend to go more for the IELTS, which is the kind of British version of the English language test. TOEFL is the American version. Um, but either one of them, I think, is usually fine. The university administration, I think, if they can choose which test to do, I think I would say do the IELTS because the IELTS is more widely accepted, if you like, because it's the British test that we would probably prefer over the American test.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. I would like to hand over to moderator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Professor President Karen and also Dr. Ainan Ashraf. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the end of our seminar. It has been a pleasure moderating in this seminar. We have the insight that shared by Professor President Karen and also Dr. Anand Mishra will be useful for our future. I'm Satria. I would like to apologize if any mistake when I'm moderating this seminar. I'm signing off and also stay safe and have a great day. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please, Mr. Ismail Suwandi.
Thank
Waalaikumsalam
you.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to moderator already handle the discussion together with us, and then we would like to have a screen picture together for those who can open your video. please open your video. Yeah, with the count 1, 2, 3. Yeah, thank you very much. And then we would like to uh, extend from this conversation the possibilities to have a short course or master class or whatever teaching and learning possibilities to learn from the part of the master and PhD program of the both of program that Prof. Kauner is running. The second one, we would like to extend this opportunity from the seminar to have the another contact, close contact with the higher education institution in Indonesia. And then we before we close our session, I'd like to invite Prof. Kainer to have a closing statement and another one from Dr. Anand Misra for the closing statement. Prof. Kainer first.
Thank you. Thank you so much. No, it's been a great pleasure as always to do this seminar with you. I'm genuinely excited to have this partnership and collaboration with you. I look forward to developing the mentioned ideas, and I very much look forward to seeing you in person very soon as well. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Kainer. And Dr. Anand, time is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much. As Dr. Konat has said, there's nothing more that can be added to this. We are happy, we are glad, and we are keen to start off this relationship. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you to the moderator. Thank you to everyone that joined our the third session of international seminar on higher education. And then good afternoon to Prof. Kauner and good evening to everyone. See you to the next session.